7. Bitcoin. The formation of an aristocratic financial system resulting from a collective leap event. The emergence of Bitcoin was a sensational civilization event. It is not just a technological product, nor is it just a financial asset. It was an attempt to collectively awaken the free consciousness of human beings in a digital world. However, like many attempts at consciousness leap in history, its final destination deviated from the original vision. In the process of Bitcoin becoming digital gold, we also witnessed the real history of the evolution of decentralized ideas to a new aristocratic financial structure. This is not a failure, but a reminder. The leap of collective consciousness has never been achieved by a single technological leap. 1. The birth of Bitcoin, an attempt to awaken the free consciousness in 2008. Satoshi Nakamoto described a vision in Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, a completely decentralized peer-to-peer electronic cash that does not rely on any central agency. This vision is revolutionary in the historical context. It attempts to reconstruct the foundation of modern civilization at the following 3 levels. 1. Disintermediation of value. Transfer destroy the monopoly of financial oligarchs on capital. Flow. 2. Property confirmation beyond sovereignty. Property no longer relies on government decrees, but is protected by mathematics and code. 3. Open. Transparent and verifiable consensus system establish a trust machine that everyone can. Audit. This is a social contract experiment beyond sovereignty. It is essentially a collective leap attempt by humans to break through the traditional financial and power binding mechanism in the structure of consciousness. 2. Distortion of ideals. How Bitcoin gradually became a tool for financial aristocrats. Although Bitcoin was originally designed as a tool for the general public, it quickly evolved into structural problems similar to the traditional aristocratic system. 1. Early. Technology masters equals aristocratic original shareholders. Early entrants have extremely low-cost mining dividends, and the era of buying tens of thousands of BTC at 10 cents has created extreme wealth concentration. A huge power gap between the whale class and retail investors has formed among coin holders. In fact, it is a system that lacks redistribution mechanisms more than traditional finance. 2. Centralization of computing power. Equals new energy capital empire mining should be a labor-based coinage that everyone can participate in, but it has gradually evolved into an electricity-intensive industry. Large mining farms are deployed in global energy depressions to form a digital energy empire that controls the dominance of the Bitcoin network in the hands of a few computing power consortiums. 3. Price speculation. Equals virtual gold standard that is out of circulation in life, Bitcoin's original payment tool. Positioning has gradually been replaced by the value storage and digital gold narratives. Holding coins is no longer participating in the economy, but speculative appreciation. People who really want to pay for their living expenses with BTC are punished. In the system. 3, this is not the fault of blockchain. A typical paradigm of unfinished structure and consciousness transition, idealism, is never afraid of failure, but is afraid of the victory of semi-finished products. The aristocratic trend that has emerged in the Bitcoin system is not an inevitable result of blockchain technology, but a true reflection of the incomplete collective consciousness transition. It reveals several important lessons. 1. The transition of consciousness is not completed after the code is written, but the deep cognitive coordination of the structure by all participants. 2. Freedom, without a value redistribution mechanism, will eventually return to the continuation of privilege. 3. If the system externalities, such as energy, national policies, and financial supervision, cannot be dealt with, the so-called freedom is only a temporary blind spot. IV. The real hope of blockchain resetting the path of transition, although Bitcoin has deviated from its original vision. Blockchain is still a watershed in human civilization. Because, to one, the first time that property rights were confirmed through code for the first time, humans got rid of the sole right of paper and government to interpret property rights. Property began to become a product of technical logic rather than an appendage of the administrative system. 2. The prototype of the global consensus system. Consensus mechanisms such as POD, ROU, and POS are all experimenting with algorithmic translation of power. This foreshadows the possibility of non-state structure governance. In the future. 3. Diversified experiments emerge rapidly. DeFi, DL, NFT, SBT the world is rapidly forming a multi-consciousness network autonomy experiment. Although it is chaotic now, this is precisely the norm in the early stage of emergence. For the first time, humans can experiment with alternative social systems in a structured way. Future direction, consciousness-oriented, technology-assisted from the perspective of metagnosis. We should understand the development of blockchain from the perspective of structural awakening rather than technology worship. Old paradigm. Property is granted by the state new transition path. Property is verified by structure old paradigm. Politics determines consensus new transition path. Consensus determines governance old paradigm. Technology serves power. New transition path. Technology becomes a container of consciousness. Paradigm. Currency anchors entities new transition path. Currency anchors trust structure. Consensus structure based on full participation. The truly promising chain in the future is not the fastest one, but the one that can best handle collective cognition. Emotional regulation and redistribution mechanism. Summary Bitcoin is not a failure. It just reveals a cruel fact. The consciousness transition can never be achieved by technology alone. It must be accompanied by the simultaneous improvement of structural cognition. The blockchain opens a door for us, a door that can lead to a higher civilization structure. But it is not the end, but just a starting point, as I put it. For the first time, we have made private property sovereign and guaranteed it through code. But if we cannot deal with the problems of information resonance, structural justice, and consciousness coordination, then even the universe composed of code will eventually slide into the reincarnation of the new and old aristocrats. This point will be explored and constructed by the awakeners of the new era. The leap of collective consciousness will surely lead the blockchain to rise again from the darkness.